And I think our, as we now call it, elastic digital workplace is all around how we are able to keep people connected, but also how we're not just keeping them connected, but augmenting the way that we work together.
Hi, everyone. It's Penelope Pratt, Accenture's Chief Information Officer, and I'm really glad to be here today with Jason Warnicki, who is leading our digital experience team within our global IT organization. The global IT team is driving technology-powered business transformation in support of all of Accenture's businesses and 500,000 employees. And today we're going to be talking about the elastic digital workplace and how we're bringing that to life at Accenture. Jason, let's dive in.
Great. Thanks for having me. This is a topic I'm super passionate about, so I look forward to the discussion.
Excellent. Can you just talk to us a bit, Jason, about where Accenture is on our journey to having an elastic digital workplace? What does it mean for our people? How are we enabling them to work seamlessly, especially in this age of COVID? And right now, most of them are remote.
Sure. I think we and many others have, all kinds of names for this new approach. But when you think about it, Accenture's really been working in this approach for quite some time with a very distributed workforce where, although we've got several very large centers and campuses, we don't really have all of our people predominantly in one place. We've been working on this journey for decades, ensuring that our people have what they need in terms of capabilities and tools to connect with and collaborate with their counterparts, many times on the other side of the planet, and with our clients that are in all kinds of different locations. So rarely do we have a team nowadays that has been typically all in one location. Even when we're landing at a client site, we're doing so with a distributed team that will include people from other client offices and other Accenture offices. So we really have been laying the groundwork for the platforms and capabilities that are so, critically needed in a time and a circumstance like right now. And I think our, as we now call it, elastic digital workplace is all around how we are able to keep people connected, but also how we're not just keeping them connected, but augmenting the way that we work together. I imagine a time when we're back together physically, where we'll still use a lot of the techniques, if not all of the techniques, in effectively engaging people that all can't be in that one room to really bring forward their ideas and take whatever transformation or thing we're working on for our client to the next level.
It's been amazing, Jason, to watch you since I joined the group in November and to see where we're taking the elastic digital workforce journey. And one of the things that has struck me is that we have 500,000 employees, and they're all different people, right? And they come from all walks of life, all backgrounds, and all generational groups. How are you seeing different generational groups respond to working more in Microsoft Teams and more of these remote supporting technologies and tools?
Yeah. So, our 500,000 people, it's amazing every time we say that, but the vast majority of that population are millennials, or now I think as it's termed, digital natives, those that grew up, very comfortable with and using in their personal lives and their schooling, the sorts of tools that we're using now pervasively at a company. They grew up and that was just second nature. There's a lot of our organization that didn't grow up with those tools, and it's a whole new thing. When you're using new tools and you're adapting new work styles, you have to think about those populations that might not just naturally take advantage of all of the great hidden features of these sorts of tools. And so you have to think about how you're adapting to a learning style of those individuals that this is going to be a new thing. And we've done a lot of incremental change and adoption work focused on, take the use case of, hey, how do you run a design thinking session or a brainstorming session in a way that you don't have everyone in the same room? The way that you teach folks how to do that and make them comfortable with that is varied by the population you're training to do that and get comfortable with. So we're very focused on thinking about the mechanisms and channels by which we reach those different populations to help them understand those features and how to get comfortable with running those various things. And we've had to do that in a full remote way. So normally we've brought people into a classroom and gotten them comfortable with a training session to get hands-on. But now we're having to say, hey, what are those channels where those different populations are spending time, and focusing our learning opportunities and our best practice documents and things like this, snackable video, in ways that all of the population can take advantage of them.
And as we referenced, right, it's been a time of exponential learning about our people and what they need. The number one thing we learned was that one size does not fit all. What else have we learned, Jason?
Well, there are new behaviors when you go into the capabilities that are now available to us. And so what we talk about a lot is not training on features. We're talking about training new behaviors. An example would be working cloud first, instead of the days where we would do what you and I learned to do growing up in this company. You would work on everything on your local machine. You get it to a point where you felt comfortable sharing it. Then you might share it to a SharePoint site so that the rest of your team could see it. If you were really comfortable and you really thought it was valuable in terms of a learning practice or a best practice, that you would then upload that to the knowledge exchange. So we definitely have now been shifting our focus, training behaviors to say, work cloud first from the start. The term that is common out there, working out loud, the concept of being comfortable that, you're going to shape whatever you're working on. You're going to collaborate with others from the start. It's going to be very raw to start, and then it's going to get better and better and more refined as you go. The other practice or behavior that we're really helping people get more comfortable with is working mobile first. So you would have never thought that you would be collaborating on an Excel document, let's say from a mobile phone, or taking a quick review of a deliverable on your iPad before it goes to the client. And so getting our people very comfortable with those new behaviors of working cloud first, working mobile first, picking up where you left off on another device from where you started it. Teams is a great example of where that persistence of that chat in that context goes across devices. So if I'm sitting in front of my computer now and I start a conversation, we're collaborating in a document, I'm on the go, I'm on the train to my client side, I can pick up where I left off on that mobile, and I don't lose where I left off. And I think that is paired with the idea that not one size fits all. There will be people that will just always want to work in the document on their PC and then share it when they're ready. But more and more, we're wanting people to be thinking about how do they start that document in the cloud, sharing by default from the start with their teams, and then doing more and more of that via mobile device. So making sure that we're making it a comfortable transition, no matter where you start from, so that people are really taking advantage of all those great features and all those collaboration techniques and approaches that are available with our platforms.
So, Jason, obviously you're having an impact, right? We've talked a number of times about how audio, of which we do about 1 billion minutes in Teams, enables basic collaboration in a remote world. And video, which we've had a six-fold growth in over the last few months, kind of enriches that experience. Can you talk a little bit about what's next for Accenture to continue the enrichment of that experience? And if you're seeing anything interesting in the market with our clients, could you share that too?
Absolutely. So as you stated, the growth in our audio, but probably more interestingly, the growth in video, now that people are fully remote, is truly extraordinary. And I actually think it's allowing us to be as effective, if not, this seems crazy, even more effective than when we were together a lot of times. And here's just a simple example of that, or how I think that comes to life. When you're in our normal mode of operating, where you've got people in a conference room, and then some people remote. If you were not very extremely vocal, if you weren't one of the very outspoken individuals in that conference room, just that conference room alone, you might not feel as comfortable to speak up and share an idea. Even worse, if you were one of those people that wasn't lucky enough to be in that room and you were remote, you certainly weren't feeling as comfortable speaking up. And so when you think about what we've now been able to do with the power of a platform like Microsoft Teams and the power of video, it now levels the playing field in terms of being able to jump in and contribute, because everyone has the same environment, if you will. You might not feel as comfortable just jumping in right from the start with your video on and with a question. But now with tools like Raise Your Hand, that new feature in Microsoft Teams, which allows you to say like, hey, I know the conversation is flowing. I don't mean to jump in, but I've got, when we get an opportunity, I've got something to share. And then also the side chat. Even when we've got teams in a single location, there were teams that were getting really good at the flow that was happening in the room, but the flow in the side chat alongside that allows this next level of, hey, it's not worthy of breaking the conversation, but I am just going to contribute a thought here on the side, or even having a little bit of fun to lighten the mood with we did it on a call Penelope and I were on earlier today. Just, a Giphy picture on the side, or a sticker or a meme that just lightens the mood, or, gives someone a high five if a team did something that was really cool. So I think it definitely does allow us to connect at a whole nother level. And I'm excited about even more things, like even more live video, 7x7 view, and some other things that are coming. It's going to always be enhancing the circumstance at the given time. Even when we're back physically, we're going to take advantage of these new practices in the tool sets. And then I think where we go next, the next horizon really is extended reality. So the idea that you could go into, if you've got a headset, and they'll become more pervasive and available to people, to get cheaper and cheaper, just like cell phones did, where, when cell phones first came out, it was just a portion of the population. Now, most everyone has a mobile device, if not several, that they bring into the workplace. The same will happen with headsets that will allow us to experience, collaboration to a whole nother level. So I'm looking forward to seeing where, the current platforms go, but then in the next, where things like augmented and virtual reality take us.
It's an exciting journey, Jason. I'm glad to be taking it with you. So if we do another one of these a year from now, and we're talking to people about what we've accomplished over the next year, what's it going to be? What's on your plate?
Yeah. So the thing that I'm most excited about next in our team's journey, in particular, is this concept that we really understood right from the start, right as this was getting launched. And we understood that, this was going to be a whole lot more than just a replacement for that unified communications tool we had prior, whether it was, what we were coming immediately from Skype for Business, or before that, Link and other things. We really viewed, just like the team at Microsoft, that this was going to be a conversation platform, and something that would allow us to finally, for the first time, bring together context, collaboration, document sharing, and integrations into other things, to where we could finally pivot what we've been doing for years from telling our people, hey, we're going to give you all the, the capabilities and tools you need. They're just in all these different endpoints, all these different destinations, all these different websites you need to go to get your job done. And that was separated away from the collaboration and the discussion you were having with your team. So you would go over here to do your task, and then you would pivot over here to do your collaboration, and they would be separated, and you would lose context every time you did that pivot. Finally, we can bring those together in the conversation platform of Microsoft Teams, bringing integrations, tools, and extensions to where the team's engaging. And that's really exciting. So we're working on a number of things that will allow us to bring a service to make a quick approval, or to get a quick technology or HR question answered, or a transaction completed right inside of Teams, helping bring insights to a client account lead right where they're gathered with their team, instead of in all these different places, and then trying to bring that back to collaboration. And then the really exciting thing I know that you're excited about as well is where we're getting into citizen developer sort of capabilities. The idea that we can put in the hands of our end users really exciting tools that will allow them to take it to their next level. We can't always predict in IT and serve the needs of 500,000 people and those accounts that are serving our clients every day. We have to give them some level of autonomy and some level of customization and extension on that great set of tools that we're providing, so that they can meet their clients where they need to meet them with tools like the Power Platform, Power BI, Power Apps, Flow. All of these things that are now at the forefront will be part of our next journey here in our collaboration world at Accenture.
Well, Jason, thanks for sharing today. It's been a lot of fun working on this agenda with you so far. I look forward to doing more in the future. And a year from now, we will come back and share the adventures of the next 12 months.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. And like I said, this is a topic we love to be at the forefront of, and we love to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the Accenture CIO podcast series on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Find the full CIO 24/7 podcast series and additional ways to subscribe at accenture.com/CIO podcast.